Hi, good evening. This is Ajit Balgi from the Happy High, and right from the vineyards, we are here in Peschiera del Garda, very close to Lake Garda, where the Zenato winery is. Right now, I'm standing in the barrel room of the winery. It's amazing. It's one of the best winery setups that I've seen for tasting, and I'm here standing with 6 wines that I'm going to tell you a little bit about. Starting with their classic, that is where Sergio Zenato began in 1960 with the Lugana. So Lugana, when I say Lugana, you can assume that Lugana is a white wine which comes from the Lugana region, and it is made out of Trebbiano del Lugana. So Trebbiano, right? You must be surprised with Trebbiano, because for me Trebbiano is a grape variety which is very neutral. In fact, it is used for distilling a lot of brandy. But this one is a specific strain of Trebbiano from the Lugana region, which is like the gym version or the worked out version of the Trebbiano. It's really big, and this one is really fruity. For quite a number of years, Zenato was in San Benedetto in the Peschiera region, where they started doing the Lugana, and soon a lot of people followed. So this one is a Trebbiano, unlike a Trebbiano. So if you want a better version of a Trebbiano, then you should try a Lugana. Lugana is at least 90% Trebbiano. Let me taste a bit. Like I said, extremely floral and fruity with mouth-watering acidity. Good for Indian food, I definitely believe. Now I go in for the second one. This one is again a Lugana, but then this one was a bit of an experiment by the winery where they aged it in Slavonian oak barrels, 5,000 liter Slavonian oak barrels, where the wine transformed and got in those lovely notes from the oak. This one is a 2014. And yeah, I can't tell you the color much here, but then it has that hue of gold, which of course is because of the wood. Yeah, you can straight away tell that, it has seen the wood, it has those toasty vanilla notes, and plus underlying, let me see if I get the fruit. The wine is gone, but then the taste lingers on. Amazing finish, and it's a lot of wood. Apart from that, the essence of Lugana remains. So it's a really complex wine, and I still feel I can have it as an aperitif, but for some it may be a food wine. I can have it. It's really beautiful. And lastly, on the Lugana range is a new wine. It's a sparkling wine from the winery. Perhaps it's going to be a category leader because it's one of the first to have decided to do a classical method, a traditional sparkling wine from the grape variety. So this one again has seen 2 years of bottle aging over lease, or that's the way traditional method wines are done. That's what gives it that biscuity, toasty note to the wine. And you can, of course, tell that in the glass. It is that fruity floral Lugana with that toasty, biscuity note emerging. I just need to figure the style of bubbles. Of course, given that it's bottle aged, I can expect them to be very good. At €14.50 ex-cellar pricing, not ex-cellar actually, that's their cellar door pricing, I think it's fantastic value for money for that the wine has to offer. Now let's move on to the red and the most iconic red that this region knows about is the Valpolicella. Valpolicella is classified as a region which uses 3 different grape varieties or multiple ones that can be used. At the Zenato they use the classic Corvina and Rondinella, and the third one is the Oscillata, which is very indigenous to their winery. So 3 varieties. We're not doing the regular Valpolicella which is supposed to be very fruity. It sees stainless steel tanks and it comes into the glass straight. It's supposed to be fruity. What we're seeing is the Ripassa style. Ripassa, I'll tell you a little more about Ripassa now. Ripassa is somewhere between the Valpolicella and the mighty Amarone della Valpolicella. We're going to taste that now. So Amarone, I'll keep that, Ripassa, and now I'll tell you about Amarone before I go to the Ripassa yet again. Amarone della Valpolicella is a style. Amarone is a style where they harvest the grapes and they dry the grapes for up to 3 months so that the grapes shrivel, the water goes away, and there is a lot of sweetness and a lot of ripe fruit in the grape. So this one is a grape that has been shriveled for much longer, but if you look at them, they're like almost raisined. This is not the exact ones that I use, but then they are aged, dried for much longer. But they are dried, they are crushed into juice. I mean the juice straight away reduces by 2/3. So they make very little wine, and hence Amarones tend to be more expensive. So they crush the wines and they make wines out of it. Ripasso is that version which was again popularized by the winery, where a young Valpolicella which is supposed to be fruity is passed through the leftover skins, or as they call it, pomace, which is soaked in a lot of Amarone, and the young Valpolicella, the fruity Valpolicella, embodies a little bit of the Amarone to get a slightly bigger. So Ripassa or Ripasso is somewhere between the Valpolicella and the Amarone. So this is somewhere in between. So we're going to taste that first, the Ripasso. The brand is called as the Ripassa. This category was recognized in 2010 as a category. Otherwise it was only Valpolicella and Amarone. Ripassa as a style has emerged in between. So speaking about India, if a Valpolicella is 1500 rupees, the Ripasso is 2500 rupees and Amarone is 7000 rupees. So if you're still trying and working on your wines, then Ripasso is a good way to start to see how Amarone could be before you invest that big money. This one is a 2013 vintage, which is seen around 2 years of barrique aging or French oak aging, and that oak shines through. So Ripasso, the regular Valpolicella gains some body from the Amarone, and then it gets some more characteristic or some more body from the oak. So this one is a style which is big, but not big enough. This one is at 14% alcohol. Watch the fun as we go ahead. So now we go to Amarone and guess the alcoholic strength. This is 16.5%, and that's really big. 16.5. Can you imagine? Let me pour a bit. Big, dark, and inky. It's opaque. It's really opaque. For it to be called as Amarone, it has to age for a minimum of two years in oak barrels, and of course has to go through the drying process. The drying process ensures a lot of sugar and a lot of flavor, and here we have around 7 to 8 grams of residual sugar that leaves you with that little bit of sweetness and that massive alcohol, and of course a lot of fruit. The winery ages this in 5,000 liter barrels because the idea is to ensure that you get the fruit. And the fruit is the essence of the wine, so they didn't want to show much of the wood, and hence they decide to age it for 3 years, not for 2 but 3 years, in bigger barrels, so that the influence of oak is minimal. This wine has to be drunk to feel how it tastes like. I can only give you a lot of jargon, but then if you ever get a chance, do taste Amarone. This one at 16% is the best I've had so far. Perhaps not, perhaps not. Let's look at another one from their collection. And this is the last wine that we're tasting this evening. This one is the Amarone della Valpolicella 2010 Riserva by the man himself, Zenato. So Riserva as a qualification or a classification has different meanings in different parts of Italy, but in Amarone at least 4 years of aging. So this wine is 2010, has seen more than 4 years of aging in big 7,500 liters Slavonian oak barrels, and then 1 year in the bottle. This is seen quite a bit. Let me pour. The Big Daddy. Again, the color tells you a lot. Really inky. Given the size of the glass, this is still inky and opaque. Okay. It's very interesting to see this and the last one side by side, because it exactly tells you what that extra 3 years does to the wine. So this one starts with a whiff of a lot of coffee and walnut and those little oxidative aromas which you've seen from the wood. You just allow that to go away. This wine has seen a bit of decanting, so we can assure that, it aired a bit. So the fruit emanates straight away. Otherwise what you get is a lot of oxidative notes to begin with, and then the fruit emerges. I'll drink this wine. Alcoholic strength, a massive 17%. For all of us who know a little bit about wine, you can figure that 15% is the max it can go, but certain special strain of yeast can take it to 17%, while it leaves some residual sugar and that massive 17%. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching me present to you these brilliant wines, and if you're ever in Verona, do visit Valpolicella and taste the wines. And of course, you decide, then Zenato is open to you. They have a beautiful winery. Thank you so much, and I'll bring you more. Thank you. Cheers.